Shame was an interesting one.
How so?
It was a whole different approach to everything that we had written previously, as far as lyrically, and not necessarily. I mean, it kind of followed a lot of the same themes. It came from all of us, so the music was similar. But lyrically, it was interesting because normally the stuff I'm writing is me personally going through something personally, maybe something that has to do with God or my faith or anything, something like that. But with this song, it ended up turning outwards towards struggles with other people. And honestly, this one was actually a little bit of a perspective of looking at it from someone else we knew, and kind of seeing. This is one of those songs where we just saw something that somebody else was dealing with or going through, and kind of applying it almost from their perspective, but also taking my own personal things from it. So what it is it looks at, it's sort of aimed at just outside people. You're supporting friend group or your community around you, and just having to hide what's really going on inside of you. So it's like, it's a shame that they'll never see the way I hurt. And honestly, for me, it was, for me and for this other person who I was kind of writing on behalf of, it was a look at kind of the church and having to put on this sort of charade that everything's all well and good, and that's kind of where we stray from the sort of Christian music path too, is that everything is very hopeful and joyful, but it doesn't really look deep at what's really going on in these people's lives and their hearts. And so that's where that really came from, as far as it's a shame they'll never see the way I hurt. Don't they know this isn't living? Like, just that being able to be vulnerable with the community around you and not having to feel like you gotta hide or be shameful about what you're going through.
How much time we have left?
We're gonna cut it. We're gonna cut it.
Oh yeah, okay.
We're editing.
Right, cool. So you just
We're
edited
gonna
me
cut
out.
that out, yeah.
So for me, it was really important. The song means a lot because I feel like I was kind of dealing with that at the same time, like in the sense that like I look at the church and the physical church and spiritually and all that stuff, and I look at all these people that we interact with on a day-to-day basis that I'm not very good at this either, and I'm really working to figure out like how do I change this, but is that we should be the people out there showing unconditional love to people, and we have friends that we see that they don't feel like they can be honest and be themselves because they're afraid they're going to get judged. Not necessarily because they are, but because they've had so many past experiences with other people judging them and being really harsh with them, and not approaching it from a loving place. So for me, I really connected with that song, and I think it's one of the best songs on the record because I think it really speaks to a place of just brokenness, of being so frustrated with where you're at in life, but you really want to change, but you just don't feel like you can, but you're crying out for help. So we had a buddy of ours, John Madden. He does merch and some tour managing stuff for us when we're on the road, and he wrote the spoken word part in the middle, and we just kind of came up to him and we're like, hey dude, we feel like you would really do well speaking to the heart of where these people are coming from, because even though we've all been there, John's a very empathetic guy, and I think he can really latch onto that emotional side, and he did a great job in that, speaking, one, to the heart of people, and two, to the fact that even though you feel broken, you still have a voice, and you're still important, and you still have a place in this world that to give hope and to really be an influence on others. So